Hi, I'm Claude.
And I'm Clinton, and we're the Lamest Defenders. On this week's episode of TLDR, What If does what WandaVision can't. Hi, Thanos. We're the Lamest Defenders.
I don't even know who you are.
We have a small but dedicated fan base.
Be sure to visit our sponsor at BaskervilleProductions.com.
Hi, welcome back. So before we get started with this review, you might hear our active viewership in the background.
Yep, that's them. So just a quick thing before we get to the meat of the review here. Little veggies, little potatoes. Claude and I both really like this episode.
Yeah.
So go watch it first and then come back and watch this.
Yeah, I wouldn't appreciate this one spoiled.
No,
to be honest
this
with
is such a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this, you need to go watch this.
Yeah.
Just go watch it. We'll wait. Okay, so now that we're into the actual spoiler review of it, basically this one takes place where Doctor Strange has Christine in the car.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to kind of like an awards benefit for himself.
Yeah, pretty much our awards dinner.
Yeah, because he did a very impressive surgery, and they're going to honor him for it. So instead of his hands being damaged in the car accident from the movie, Christine is in the car with him, and she dies.
Right.
So that's why it's called What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart instead. And then he basically spends the entire episode trying to bring her back.
Right.
Going some really dark paths, going down, like basically ending civilization, ending existence.
Yeah.
He does what Thanos can't.
Right.
And it's great.
It's cool. I think probably the best thing for me is like whenever it's showing him eventually he does everything he did in Doctor Strange successfully.
Yeah.
You know, he's but then like it's cool because he has that time stone. He tries to go back in time, and then at each point he can't save his lady friend.
Yeah, it honestly, like, watching this episode, it was borderline comedic. It was so excessive, like the way this woman dies.
Pretty brutal too. Like it was.
Like it's horrible. There's no. They call it an absolute point.
Yeah.
Where she has to die in this universe. She has to die, or else it's over. Like everything's over.
Because he does different things. Like he'll try to go a different way. You know,
he doesn't pick her up.
Yeah, there's times where they go out to get pizza, and then some random gunman comes in and
she has a heart attack on the dance floor. It's just like.
Yeah.
Gosh. So yeah, it's brutal. So he tries to basically absorb the dark dimension. I don't want to call them gods, but basically the dark dimension monsters in the hope that he can control it.
The Pokemon,
yeah. And he basically absorbs them one by one. He says that we're going to start out small. And then he just starts like
with a gnome.
Basically, yeah. It was actually pretty funny, yeah. And then it just kind of escalates from there.
And it's hilarious during this part because there's a meme out there that Benedict Cumberbatch he looks like mid-transformation of Animorphs. And then while he's absorbing all the animals, he's turning into an animal.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, after every absorption, he turns into that. So he'll turn like a dragon for a brief instance.
Like a phoenix.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like the animation in this was just
they
amazing.
nailed
so good
it
on this one.
And then at one point, like so he's absorbing all this stuff, and then the final thing that he wants to absorb is a creature that I'm pretty sure is Shuma Gorath.
Yeah.
So if you guys play Marvel vs. Capcom or just read those crazy 90s comics, you should be able to recognize him. But just those green tentacles, and he was in episode 1 of What If, so I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, Claude called it.
Yeah, and then if he's in the next Doctor Strange movie that comes out next year, that's awesome.
Yeah, you absolutely called it on that one. Let's take a little bow on that if you'd like. But no, and then it's so like they call himself the one who absorbs all these dark dimension deities or entities, whatever. He calls himself Strange Supreme. So I don't know what to call just Strange Prime. I guess we'll call him Strange Prime, the one who doesn't
Minor
go into all of this. The dark dimension stuff.
Because what happens is, you know, if you guys already seen the episode, it's a spoiler review, but the Ancient One basically splits Steven into two. One that actually does what he wants to do, and then one that ends up like, what if he doesn't do the choice to actually absorb all those demons? And then that's where the conflict is, because the demon Doctor Strange can't use his full potential to bring her back, basically, because he's missing the other half of his power. So.
Yeah, and then as they're the last thing that the Strange Supreme needs is Strange Prime. So, and they have this like I normally don't like these boss battles. Yeah, like they're just kind of gross and just overindulging. But like this one, I didn't hate at all.
Well, anytime Doctor Strange is in a fight scene, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I loved it too because near the end they're so exhausted. Oh, and then sorry, before we get to that last part, Wong puts the Vishanti, the spell, on him, so it basically protects him. And you see this little icon on Strange's forehead. So as they're fighting, like it literally comes to a point of just a fist fight.
Yeah,
like they're both just exhausted, and Strange Superior has spent centuries getting to this point because he's manipulated the time stone so much. His willpower is just overriding everything at this point. He's like, I'm not losing this. Right. So he just punches him, and it's so funny to me because how he beats Strange Prime by getting rid of the Vishanti spell is basically like an iPhone unlock.
Yeah, I did laugh at that part.
He's just like, no.
I'll give you the Zuck job now.
Yeah. So, and then he just absorbs him into it too, and he does save Christine, but he destroys the universe in the process. And
the Christine that comes back too has no idea what's going on, and then Doctor Strange himself is now a creature because he's
an amalgamation of everything.
Yeah,
it's just so gross looking.
Right,
it's awesome.
And then she's fading away because the reality as they know it is starting to tear apart. And then he also begs the Watcher to try to help because he knows that he could do something. And then the Watcher's like, if I interfere, it'd be just like how you're doing now, where you just basically messed up reality.
Yeah.
So,
and at the end, Christine's gone, and the Strange Supreme is in like this crystalline like entity, like this cage almost. And I don't know if that's going to be brought back or if that was just to get Doctor Strange off of the board, considering he is so powerful. But
I think maybe there's a redemption for him when hopefully all these what-if stories combine.
Yeah, because he was definitely somber near the end. He was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it was an insane character growth for 30 minutes. Like, just an awesome character study. I love this episode so much. It was great.
So, what would you give episode 4?
I'm going to ramble on a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm giving it a 9.5. Like, I'm going into the point system like Claude uses because it's just, I don't know what it could be to be perfect, but it's so close, and it was awesome. Whereas WandaVision was so slow in the beginning, this one, that's why we said like WandaVision Doctor Strange What If does what WandaVision can't, because they did all this in 30 minutes. They gave you an episode on grief in 30 minutes, and it was phenomenal. It was fantastic. And while Vision's still out there. Like, Vision is there. Christine is gone in this universe for this guy, so he's experienced it. I think it's awesome. 9.5. Best by far.
I definitely agree with you, because that's one of the reasons that attracted me to Marvel from the very get-go, was that you can relate with some of these characters, and his choice, even though it's selfish, is still you understand it, and that's a character study in and of itself. So really like that. I mean, in total, I would say this is my favorite episode of What If. And I'm trying to backtrack, but I gave episode 2 with T'Challa Star-Lord a 9.0. And this, to me, was better than that episode. So to kind of save myself and be consistent, I'm giving it a 9.1. So for the same reasons that you gave. So
you care so much, don't you?
Anyway, that was our review for episode 4 of Marvel's What If. We are actually going to the movie theater tomorrow to review Shang-Chi, so that should be pretty exciting. So, stay tuned for that one this week.
Yeah, thanks so much. Stay lame.
See ya.